Good morning, Ian Crouch with your 8:30 Hunter News update. The state government has given planning approval for a desalination plant at Belmont as part of efforts to secure the region's water supply during drought. The $200 million plan would be able to deliver up to 30 million litres of drinking water per day during severe drought. It's included in the Lower Hunter Water Security Plan due for release next week for public comment. Hunter Water Managing Director Darren Cleary says the next step involves a detailed design process. The Premier says politicians didn't make the decision to redirect Pfizer doses from the Hunter and Central Coast to Sydney's southwest and west. 40,000 doses have been redistributed from regional areas for Year 12 students in Sydney. Gladys Berejiklian denies doses were taken from certain seats because they are held by Labor.
They're decisions that our health department takes. How the vaccines are allocated is not a decision that someone like myself would take.
Detectives investigating an alleged sexual assault at North Lambton hope a special hearing later this month will allow them to admit DNA evidence in the case. Jonas Somasundaram is accused of breaking into a Tirana parade home last Thursday and threatening a 20-year-old woman with a knife before sexually assaulting her. Investigators sought a swab from the man, but he refused, prompting an urgent application to the court to approve a forensic procedure to collect the sample. However, whether it can be used in evidence depends on the outcome of a hearing later this month. The sexual assault case has been adjourned until September. To mark the start of National Homelessness Week, new data has been released which indicates essential workers in the Hunter can't compete in the current rental market. The figures indicate rent on an apartment would cost an essential worker at least one-third of their weekly income in 87 of Australia's 104 geographic regions. Everybody's Home spokesperson Kate Colvin says a worker in the Hunter would need to work 19 hours just to cover the cost of rent.
One of the things that's a real issue is not just the high cost of rents, but also really low vacancy rates. And what we're seeing is more and more people who simply cannot find a rental that they either can or can't afford. So they're ending up homeless. So it's just essential that the government step up and provide the homes that people need because the system isn't working at the moment.
A busy intersection, Nelson Bay Road and Varden Road at Fern Bay, has locals concerned about the dangers to users of the nearby school and childcare centre. The Fern Bay and Fullerton Cove Progress Association has launched a petition calling for a set of traffic lights to be installed on the busy road. President Eddie Horn says despite local support, the state government will be their biggest obstacle.
We've also had support from Port Stephens Council, so things are sort of lining up for us. It's just a case of whether or not we're able to convince New South Wales Government, which I'm hoping that we will.
2NURFM Sport.
The Australian Opals have scraped into the quarterfinals at the Tokyo Games, where they will face an unbeaten United States side. The Opals needed to defeat Puerto Rico by 25 points or more in last night's game and achieved that late in the last quarter. Newcastle's Leilani Mitchell and Katie Ebzery will be more than confident coming up against USA after claiming victory against them in a pre-tournament friendly. Dungog rower Spencer Turin has returned from his successful Olympic campaign, landing back in Australia on Sunday. The 29-year-old was part of the men's fours team that claimed gold in Tokyo, Australia's first in 25 years. In hockey, Newcastle's Matt Dawson's Olympic dream is still alive as the Kookaburras prepare to face Germany in the semi-finals tonight. Meanwhile, Newcastle's Hockey Roos star Mariah Williams will return home empty-handed after a shock loss to India in the quarterfinals. And Knights star Bradman Best has outlined the impending return of halfback Mitchell Pearce as massive for the side's finals push. The Knights sit on equal points with 8th position on the NRL ladder, but are outside due to points differential. That's sport. I'm James Paris.
And the winning numbers in Monday Lotto are 7, 40, 31, 11, 14 and 1, and the supplementaries are 16 and 43. And now you're up to date with the latest 2NURFM Hunter News.